family finally tell Prince Harry to go away and never come back again, he is attempting to build his own monarchy, having been brutally dismissed. This new reporting coming from Rob Shooter, who says that he's going to do this without the palace, revealing Prince Harry is no longer trying to win his way back into palace life. Insiders say he has moved on and is now trying to build a royal identity beyond the monarchy, without palace approval and far outside its control. The goal: stop chasing the crown, start becoming the people's prince. And of course, this all comes down to Prince William, doesn't it? It all comes down to the fact that Harry knows Prince William will never, ever countenance a return. An insider telling Shooter, William gets the institution, Harry wants the audience. Sources tell him that Harry sees a future built on global causes, emotional access, and high visibility activism. Less palace, more platform. The model is obvious. Diana, Princess of Wales. He is obviously following his mother's playbook, one source says. The problem is, he is missing what made Diana work. Because, Rob reports, Diana understood something Harry still does not. Her power came from challenging the monarchy, not trying to destroy it. She pushed the institution, she frustrated it, she modernized it, but Anna was still a monarchist. She believed in the crown, understood its value, and never lost sight of the fact that her eldest son would one day inherit it. Diana bent the institution, says one insider. Harry keeps trying to burn it down. That is the difference. Diana's rebellion worked because it came from inside the system. Harry's version is louder, more commercial, and far less effective, built less on duty than grievance and less on mystique than media. Diana had emotional intelligence, discipline, and restraint, one source says. Harry has resentment, a production team, and a podcast deal. Well, at least he used to. He doesn't anymore. He may want to be the people's prince, but Diana knew the crown only mattered because the crown came first. And Rob, we'll get to in just one. I need you to do something for me right now. It is free, it is easy, it is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet. And it is the best way. No big tech backing, no billionaires pulling the strings. And if you turn on the bell, you'll get alerted to all our new video. Moment. Great to have you here again. But we'll get to in just one moment how the palace is now going to take a new, tougher stance against Harry. But let's start with his strategy. So effectively, he does want to be operating as an independent monarchy out of America, but spending a lot of time in Britain. Is there any way he can make that work, Rob?
Big picture, no. On a small scale, potentially. Harry is emboldened by what happened in Australia. He enjoyed himself. He enjoyed going to meet people. He's awfully good when you send him to a hospital to meet with children. He gets down on his knee and he has that Princess Diana quality about him. He's missed doing that. He's awful in a meeting at Netflix. He's awful in a business meeting. He's just not very good at doing very much. But the one thing he does know to do is to get down on a knee in front of a child or somebody with a disability and connect with them. And he can thank Diana for that. He has that in his bag of tricks, in his tool bag. He missed it. He desperately wants it back. And he has finally realized that after years of trying to regain it by building a relationship back with the family that he blew up, but he tried to meet with his dad. He has tried to reach out to his dad. He's now realized that, screw this, I'm going to do it by myself. I don't need them. They had nothing to do with the trip to Australia, which still, in Harry's eyes, went particularly well. He enjoyed the attention. He enjoyed playing being a prince again. And there is a place for that. It's not going to be as large as what his mom had for all the reasons that I pointed out in my Substack story, but he still is a prince. And I do get this. When I see Harry, I have a flashback to that 11-year-old boy walking behind his mother's coffin. And Harry, despite all the things he's done, we probably disagree on this one, but despite all the things that he has done, there's still part of me, Dan, that wants old Harry back. And I could forgive Harry. I think I could, because I want to believe that there's a good guy in there. As days go by, as months go by, as weeks go by, I don't know if I completely believe
Rob.
that anymore.
I couldn't, because I think old Harry was mirage, actually. I mean, I knew old Harry. I knew how he operated. And what was very good is that he was protected by the palace, and the palace actually did do a really good job to protect him, but he treated people appallingly even then. But I think the difference now, Rob, is that unfortunately, some of what he's done, even if he does leave Meghan Markle, and this is the big point of Operation Thor, okay? So we've seen a lot of big British figures from The Spectator magazine, edited by Michael Gove, to Boris Johnson, other senior politicians like Shabana Mahmood essentially come out and say, oh, Harry, we want you back, but we want you back without Meghan Markle, and we'll probably forgive you. Well, I think that forgiveness would only be led by Prince William. Like, I don't believe that the British public would follow Harry and forgive Harry without a clear sign from Prince William that he forgives Harry. And
right.
number one, I don't think that's ever going to come. I really don't. Obviously, you can never say never. Who knows how things change? But remember, Prince William has gone through life-changing moments. For example, believing that he was going to lose Catherine, the Princess of Wales, because of her cancer fight. And actually, that hardened his resolve, Rob, rather than actually made him want to forgive Harry or bring Harry back into his life. It was actually like, no, I want to keep this guy out, because I need to focus on what's really important. And Catherine's really important. My children are really important. My father's really important. He is no longer really important because of what he's done. So that's the first thing. It's the William question. But the other big one, Rob, and I always said I thought that this would be the thing that damned Harry forever in the mind of the public, specifically the British public, by the way, but probably the public in the Commonwealth too. Maybe America's slightly different, I don't know. But the way that Harry made the final years on Earth for Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth II a living ball of stress is unforgivable, given that they were battling forms of cancer, Rob, which are exacerbated by, guess what? Stress. And so I can't forgive it. And I think other people will too. And for me, I don't think that Meghan Markle is to blame for everything that Harry did. Like, I think she's a completely appalling woman who manipulated him in a lot of ways. But I think many of these choices were made by Harry.
They were. I do hear you, and I believe everything you're saying. However, I do think that there is a certain percentage, even if it's just 10% or 15%, that will come back to Harry. I've been in the PR business as well as in the...
I need you to do something for me right now. It is free. It is easy. It is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet. And it is the best way. No big tech backing, no billionaires pulling the strings. And if you turn on the bell, you'll get alerted to all our new videos.
Journalism business. And I've seen really talented publicists really turn awful stories around. I worked for P. Diddy. Look at that story, how disgusting the truth is. Everything you've just said is the truth. But the truth is not publicity. The truth is not how celebrities live. There are a lot of really awful celebrities out there that the public love, that we love because we believe that Sarah Jessica Parker is Carrie Bradshaw, not Sarah Jessica Parker. And so I have a lot of faith is the wrong word. I have a lot of experience in the PR business, and I've seen the smoke and mirrors. If they could convince us, the palace, that Harry was a good guy when he wasn't, and they did, they can do it again. And so if Harry has the right people around him, he's never going to win back everybody he lost. But in this world, you can make a really good living off a small percentage. Now everything is niche. It's much smaller. And so I see a future for Harry. Most importantly, though, he sees now one for himself, and it doesn't involve his brother. If he's smart enough to know, William will never forgive him, and Harry's figured that out now. He's figured out it's over. When the king came here, he didn't even care. Like, he's not even trying anymore. For a minute, he was making a little effort, maybe not that big an effort, but now he's figured out, and not for the right reasons. He didn't want to make friends with his dad because he wanted to be a good son. He wanted to make friends with his dad because he wants to be a quasi-royal. He's now figured out after Australia that the worst lesson he learned in Australia was there is a role for him, and he can do all this without the palace. And he never figured that out. When the Queen said you can't be half in, half out, she was wrong. You can be. And Harry now is going to manipulate the system and manipulate the goodwill of good people who can be easily convinced by smoke and mirrors, by publicists, by ad campaigns that he's an okay guy. I think he's got a shot. I'm not saying for 1 second that he's a good guy or that he's going to sell a reality. He's going to sell a myth. And I think there's a chance that he could pull it off.
What's interesting, Rob, though, is that your other reporting, exclusive reporting, is on the palace strategy, the new palace strategy in regards to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, which you say is chillingly simple. I need you to do something for me right now. It is free. It is easy. It is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet. And it is the best way. No big tech backing, no billionaires pulling the strings. And if you turn on the bell, you'll get alerted to all our new videos. And you report for all the noise surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, here's the reality behind palace doors. The royals simply don't care anymore. Not furious, not panicked, just over it. They used to get really upset. Now it barely registers. It's annoyance, not alarm. Despite relentless headlines, insiders insist the couple's global appearances blending charity with commercial deals aren't viewed as a real threat to the British royal family. The idea they could bring down the House of Windsor is wildly overblown. They're not that powerful. And inside palace thinking, not that relevant anymore, your source says. In fact, the strategy has quietly shifted. Let them talk, let them tour. The more visible they are, the more people decide for themselves. And those judgments insiders send aren't always flattering. Everyone loves a cheap knockoff until it falls apart. The harder they try to mirror the real thing, the clearer it is they're not it. Even their hybrid model, charity paired with profit, isn't rattling anyone. They can do good works and cash checks. It doesn't shake the institution. The monarchy has survived far worse. What once sparked anger now barely flickers. There was real hurt, even fury. Now they can't be bothered. It's not worth the energy. Because while the Sussexes stay loud, the royals stay steady. Real royals carry on. They do the work, keep calm, and don't chase attention. That's the difference, and people see it. Bottom line, they're not a threat. They're a distraction, and even that is fading. I found that fascinating, Rob, because, of course, for people who don't know, I should just make the point that you, in your incredible life, Rob, where you've sort of done everything, were a royal courtier. So you have been part of that royal institution. You understand how the royal family thinks. And this is so interesting, Rob, because it is what people inside the palace are saying now. And it wasn't what they used to say. They did used to be worried, but now they're not. And so that really does suggest that they're winning, doesn't it? And Harry and Meghan are...
Absolutely. I loved this story. When you just reported it for me, thank you. That's good reported, if I say so myself.
Very good, Rob. That's why people have to subscribe to the Naughty But Nice Substack, right? For much more of where that came from.
That was so powerful to me because you felt it. I felt it. 6 months ago, the palace was livid. They were angry. They were tearing their hair out. They didn't know what to do with these two. And now there's a hush. It's the let them theory. Let them. If they want to go out there and do it, let them. They're not as powerful as you think. They're not as powerful as they think. They're not going to bring down the House of Windsor. 2 people from California running around Australia. It doesn't matter. We saw what the royal family can do just a few weeks ago when King Charles came to America. They can't compete with that. That is like going to see The Lion King on Broadway or the amateur production down the road in Birmingham, where I'm from. It's a different show. You can't compete. They do this better than anybody in the world. Look at that picture. Harry and Meghan can never, ever give us that. And the palace has finally figured out their power. And I'd forgot it too. I forgot it because I was so annoyed with them. How do you handle them? How do you punch back? And the answer is you don't. In fact, you do the opposite. You encourage Harry and Meghan to do more, because the more they do, the more people realize this isn't right. This doesn't feel kind of cool. This doesn't feel good. And so once again, the House of Windsor have won this. They're going to win this. These two are going to become more and more irrelevant. And as a source said to me, William thinks the Sussex brand is worthless. It's so tarnished. It's worthless. Why are we fighting? Let them be. Let them.
Really interesting, isn't it? What I do find interesting, though, too, Rob, is that the leftists who are on the side of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle do continue to be briefed by their team. And there is a narrative. And I do think it is a delusion. But it's very much this idea that Catherine was threatened in some way by Harry and Meghan, and that's what resulted in all of this. Nina Meshkoff is the latest going out there in the British mainstream media. You probably wouldn't have seen this, Rob, so I just want to play it to you so you can respond as to whether there's anything in what she's claiming, basically.
I think that Harry and Meghan were much maligned. The press and the palace combined together to set the public up against them, to make William and Kate look better, and because there was too much glory going on to them. Do you remember the actual joy after that wedding, where everybody loved them? And that couldn't be allowed to continue because the royal line of succession must continue. The big machine, the big carriage has to go on. I can't imagine that Harry and Meghan would give up their life in California. Why should they? They have a very, very good life. But they can do an enormous amount of good. That because, look at Harry's Invictus Games. Look at and actually, it's always blame the woman, isn't it? So Meghan Meghan has copped it from the start, and I think she has a genuine connection with women and with people, and she's a very smart woman. And you know, you were talking about how they spilled all the royal secrets. That there are plenty of royal secrets to come out, believe me, which they didn't.
So a bit of a threat to the British royal family at the end there, Rob. But what I thought was so interesting is where the argument falls down is when she's trying to paint the positive picture. So it's like, oh, Harry has the Invictus Games. Well, that's it. We know that's it. And she's like, Meghan, what's Meghan done? People are sexist. People are sexist. Blame the woman. She could not, Rob, point to one positive thing that Meghan Markle has done for the world. And is that not the issue? Because we could all point to a multitude of things that Prince William has done that is good for the world, that Catherine has done for the good for the world. But we could also do the same thing with Prince Edward and Sophie and the King and Queen Camilla, the Princess Anne. The list goes on. With Meghan Markle, even her biggest allies can't come up with one. I need you to do something for me right now. It is free. It is easy. It is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet. And it is the best way. No big tech backing, no billionaires pulling the strings. And if you turn on the bell, you'll get alerted to all our new videos.
She hasn't helped her allies here make her defense, has she? I would tell my clients in my old PR days that when they got in trouble, the noise didn't matter if the truth was on their side, because the truth always comes out. And if you're a good person and you have your charities and you do the work, there's no amount of Perez Hilton or me screaming at the top of our lungs that can change that. And so I think this lady, I don't know her. I don't know if she claims to be a reporter. I think she's really inarticulate, though. She should think of these arguments before you go on television. Before I came on your show, I knew what I was going to talk about, and I'd thought about it. She seems like she just woke up and is suddenly on national TV, and she's not making any sense. She wasn't even talking in sentences here. So I think if Meghan and Harry are now having to rely on the lady that we just saw to defend them, they're in real trouble, because once again now it feels like they've hit the bottom of the barrel. Who is she? And they can't be happy with that response. If I was in trouble and a friend of mine went on national television to defend me and that was the best they could come up with, I'd be terribly disappointed. And so I don't think that they're the right people here to defend, and I certainly don't think whoever that lady is the right messenger. They need a better person out there defending them, of which we know there won't be.
They've run out. That's the problem though, Rob. They've run out because they've burned through their defenders. Their defenders are no longer prepared to defend them because they're not stupid. You know, so
well, you look like a fool. You look like a fool. I even think of that Scobie, the guy that was working in America, who was their best friend. Even he's given up.
And trust me, Rob, did you see, and this is a beautiful moment actually to talk about your book, because did you see his book was an utter flop. It didn't even make the top 20,000 or something, Rob, whereas yours, it started with a whisper. Look at that from Star Magazine. If Netflix doesn't option this novel, they're crazy. It's a binge-worthy hit waiting to happen. Is a big hit. So take that, Scobie.
Thank you. And you're part of this success too. It comes out in Britain in a couple of weeks. It debuted in America in the top 10. I think I was number 1 for a second on Amazon. It is so thrilling. It is such an exciting time, and I'm nothing but grateful.
Well,
but
you're number 1. He's number 25,000, and that says it all. People want to follow people who tell the truth. Rob Shooter, thank you so much. Always love having you on Outspoken. And of course, do make sure you subscribe to Naughty But Nice on Substack as well. And you can find our Substack at... I need you to do something for me right now. It is free. It is easy. It is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet. And it is the best way. No big tech backing, no billionaires pulling the strings. And if you turn on the bell, you'll get alerted to all our